Can anybody hear me on my phone?
Now you're there.
You can see my face?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can hear you.
All right. So I have absolutely no idea what is going on with the computer. Everything is perfectly fine on my end setting wise. So I'm not sure exactly what's causing the issue. So I'm going to wing this. Of course, when I went to restart the computer, it says update had to happen. So we've got a minute before that's going to come back up. So I don't know if I'll be able to do that or not, but we're going to just do the best that we can with this. So interesting. It'll be to see how I can make all of this work on my phone if I can't get that working. But you know what? We're here and that's what really matters. So what I had started to say is that the Scan and Cut is a phenomenal tool. Whether you are using it in conjunction with sewing and embroidery, or sewing or embroidery, you can use those for quilt pieces and for applique, pre-cuts, and things like that if you are using that in conjunction. But by a standalone machine, it is also a phenomenal, phenomenal tool. So I wanted to talk about some of those things that you can do. And one of the most popular things that people do with this is they embellish and decorate, personalize individual items. So we have craft vinyl. I'm going to see if I can flip my camera here. Let's see. Look at that. So here is my beautiful Scan and Cut. And I have, of course, it's not mirror imaged, so that's always fun too. But we've got a toolbox here of all of those. I'll go through that kind of stuff in just a minute. But the thing that I really want to talk about today is the different blades that you can use, the different mats that you can use. I've got a pile of them down here as well. But our machine is a standalone. It does not have to have anything else while you are using that. Let's see if I can mirror image. There we go. How about that? Does that look a little better? So when we turn on our Scan and Cut, it looks just like our embroidery machines. The blade carriage will reset itself. It can remember what you were working on last. Who doesn't like dollar signs, right? So what as I was saying, it's literally a standalone machine. Good morning, Miss Karen. Thanks you guys for being patient. I apologize. Yes, and Jane, technology is just absolutely phenomenal. So again, appreciate your guys' patience. I'm so sorry for such a rough start. The built-in designs that are here, this is the SDX 330. The 325 has pretty much everything that this one does except for the Disney. Totally depends on what you want to use, whether that's important to you or not. I actually don't think the Disney per se is the most important thing. It's more what comes in the box. So you get 2 mats and 2 blades with any Scan and Cut, and which 2 mat and which 2 blades depends on which model that you purchase. And I say any Scan and Cut that we carry. There are other ones out on the market that are not the 300 series. The 300 series is only available at a dealer like us. So those do have different things. But in this machine here, you get the standard mat and the standard blade. Then you get the low tack mat and the rotary blade. In a 325, you get the standard mat and standard blade, and then you get the fabric mat and fabric blade. Now, all of those pieces are available separately, so it totally depends on what is the most useful features for you, which machine you would want. Let's talk a little bit about the blades. We have the fabric blade, which has a tan top. We have the vinyl blade that has a light blue top. This one is not in any box. This is a separate purchase. I'll talk about that in a minute. But that vinyl blade gets a lot of use in my personal life and in my work life, I suppose. This is the rotary blade. This is what I mostly cut most of my appliques And then if I'm doing felt flowers or something like that to embellish stuff, I'm going to use that blade. And then finally, the standard black top blade. So those are the 4 options that we have here. And it just like I said, depends on what you're going to do, which ones are going to be important to you. How about I just cover up that camera? So Tony says he'd super help me if, as long as it would keep him out of the photo. But yeah, I know my phone tried picking up something else, and so it booted me off of here. So this is just going to be evidently a super fun morning. What else can you do, right? I am still attempting to get my computer to log back in and have everything connected there. I have no idea whether that's ever going to work or not, but we are still giving that a go. Just don't see. There we go. All right. The question now is there an echo? Because I have multiple things. All right. So I've got this cute little stand on my phone. I'm going to see if I can pop open. Obviously not, right? I think it might block my view of the camera. That's what I was afraid of. Okay. So, oh, wow. I'm so sorry. Anybody nauseous yet? I am going to add in the other camera and see if I can make that work. Let me do that. Why won't it let me do that? Now it's working. So I think because I have an echo. Ooh. 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 All right. All right. All right. All right. Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. Yeah. It won't let me get out.
I was gonna say, just give me the phone and I'll walk away and see.
Okay, take that away. That's great. Anybody else having a ton of fun? Because wow, I'm so sorry, but I think you guys can hear me, and I think you guys can see the scan and cut now. So hopefully that is the same for you guys as it is over here. My phone started feedbacking, so I think that means that this volume picked up over here. So these are those 4 blades that I was talking about. In addition to that, there are certainly other tools that you can use, but which one of those to use when is really going to come down to the most important thing when you are doing scan and cut. Hey, look at that. Have no idea what's going on, Sarah. Nothing like challenges when you're literally
Good now.
fantastic. Okay, so mats. We have a low tack mat that is going to have a turquoise bar on it. For some reason, I have like 4 of those here. I can tell you that mats are definitely going to age. So I don't know if you guys can see, but those are like a ton of cut lines in here. When you get too many lines, you can't get a good adherence. So it doesn't matter how much sticky is good in the good spots. If there's not enough surface area to actually grab hold of something, that mat is junk. So that mat's pretty much junk as far as I'm concerned. But have no fear, there's like 4 more here. So anyway, fabric mats. The fabric mat is the stickiest mat that we have. It has the gold bar and it matches the gold bar on the top of the fabric blade. They did that so that you know those 2 things work together. Yeah, me too, Sarah. But the rebooting seems to have worked. So it was probably because this computer has been on for just too long, I think. But I think we've got it fixed now. So the fabric mat is the absolute tackiest mat that we have. This is for fabric by itself. No paper fused to the back, no anything else. If you put paper onto this mat, you will absolutely come to see me because that mat is going to eat that paper and it's not ever going to have a area there that you can use. So fabric mats are definitely not something that we're going to use with our vinyl. You are going to use this only for fabric by itself, which we're not going to talk about today. Got 2 more low tack mats here. Low tack mat is a good option for what we're doing today. Good morning. However, if it is brand new, it's pretty good. If it's losing its adherence, it can be a little difficult because your paper can pop off if you don't have enough tacky on that low. So brand new to medium, they're pretty good. But again, once they've been around for a minute and they're not as sticky, then you're definitely going to want to switch. And what you would switch to is a gently used standard mat. So the standard mat is kind of our medium amount of tack. You can see I have a couple of those. One is very used and one is not as much. So those are what I'm going to probably use today. And the final thing that we do have, which has no tack at all, is the scanning mat. What this does have is a plastic sheet that you can tuck something in there to scan it and get a really clean image so that you have exactly what you would like to have on your screen for creating designs out of a picture and an image or something like that. So today we're going to be using vinyls, and we are going to use that vinyl blade. So I like to, at home, I don't keep a blade in my machine at all. I literally put the blade in when I'm going to use it. If I leave a blade in there, sometimes I don't remember to change it, and then I have the wrong blade for whatever product I'm trying to cut. So if I take out my blade every time, I have to choose a blade to put in, and I'm much more likely to choose the correct blade versus having the wrong one in there. So like I said, today we're going to be working with vinyl. So I am going to use my vinyl blade. This mat needs a little bit of help. It probably needs to be cleaned because we do a lot of demos around here and then they get left when we go to check somebody out or something and we don't always get them cleaned up. So we load our mat super easy by the button on the side. I have a really nice amount of tack still on this guy, even though it's got some spots that not so much down at the bottom. So I'm just going to work the top of the mat and then I'll show you guys how to clean it before we log off. So I am going to place my vinyl. I've got a 6x6 inch. It is white, so it's a little harder to see, but I already have those cut, so I wanted to use those. And what we're going to do today is, it can be lots of things. It doesn't actually matter what you're going to do. If you want to have words, you can You can literally come up to our screen up here. We've got a lot of things that are built in. There's a really cute word that says create in here. And it's kind of artsy, which imagine that the word create is artsy. So if you were to choose that guy, we could pull that up on the screen. You can see your design. You can resize that. So I know that I only have a 6-inch piece over here and it's not going to fit. So I can move it on into that area, but I do need to resize that down some to make sure it's going to fit. So there's resizing, there's rotating, there's lots of options. This is already fixed to be just inside. And when I resize that, it won't let me really make it taller or shorter or whatnot, because I don't want to change the actual design that's there. So do keep that in mind when you're resizing things and you're making it fit, quote unquote. You do still want to make sure that it's going to look like you want it, not too stretched out or that kind of thing. I am going to put that in my little right top square of the mat. And I can add something. So if I wanted to do something else as well, I can certainly do that. I can pull from my USB. I can pull from patterns. I can do all kinds of things. There's some really great borders in here. So if you're trying to decorate a journal or something like that, you could have some really cute page decorations. I haven't even looked through all of these, to be perfectly honest, but there's some really great stuff in here. Let's say I really like this lacy piece here. I can resize here. So I know I want just a 6-inch piece because that's all my vinyl is. So I'm going to go down to a 6-inch width. I really like to do monogramming and things like that as well. So depending on how far we get here, I can show you how to do that as well. We'll see. We lost a lot of time there, so I'm so sorry. So I'm as far over to right as I can get, which is what I was looking for. So I now have 2 different things there. What can be confusing about vinyl is whether I need to mirror image this or not. So what we're cutting here, we're going to see it and read it just like it is. So I do not want to mirror image this. If I am working with a heat transfer vinyl, all right, so this is one of the types that we offer here. This is glitter. It is absolutely stunning. It's really easy. It's got the adhesive here, and then you can kind of see it's shiny on this side. That's because there's a clear coating here. This is the part that you don't cut through on heat transfer, where on craft vinyl, it's on the bottom. So it's like if you went to the store and bought a sheet of stickers, it's that waxy back, and then your sticker is stuck to the top. That's how you're cutting this. You have that waxy background that you're going to have, and then your design is going to be in the color that's on the top. This one you would flip upside down and put that clear shiny side down on the mat and cut. So this one you would need to mirror image so that it would all balance out and you would actually see what you've got going on there. All right. Pardon me, I'm so sorry. So I've got 2 different designs here. When I go into my cut screen, I just tell machine to cut. The most important thing to remember when we're cutting vinyl is to make sure that our half cut feature is on. So I know it's right at the top of the screen, but I think you guys can see it says half cut, and then there's a blue box there that says on. And what that means is that the blade is only going to go half of the distance that it measures of the depth. So that's exactly what I want. My pressure and my speed are fine for where we're at right now. So what's going to happen is the blade is going to come somewhere across the top. It's never the same place twice, so I can't tell you exactly where it's going to stop, but it's going to test basically at the top of the mat where there is no material. So it's always important that you never put anything up there, otherwise you won't get a good test. And then it's going to come to where I have a cut line, and it's going to test again. And it's actually going to measure the distance between those 2. And obviously it's not this large, but this is my baseline of the mat. And if this is where my thickness of my, in this case, vinyl would be, with the half cut on, it's going to do half of that distance instead of that whole piece that it measures. It automatically cuts that in half. So it's only cutting through the top layer of material. So all I have to do is hit start. Like I said, that's going to come across somewhere across that top there. The blade comes down and it tests. And then it's going to go to where I have the cut, and it's going to do the same thing. and it's doing a measurement on there, it will automatically set that blade and then it starts to cut. So with both of those two things on here, it's going to take 2 minutes or less to have that happen. What I want to talk about is the difference again between the heat transfer vinyl. So we talked about that shiny clear stuff. That's actually the transfer paper on your heat transfer vinyl. So it keeps all of your bits and pieces together. So I can actually separate this a little so you can see. All right. So there is a clear piece and then there's the actual vinyl that we're cutting. So we're going to take away all the parts that we don't want. It's called weeding. And we're going to leave the parts that we do want on that sticky clear stuff here. We don't have that on craft vinyl. So we have actually a separate transfer paper. So this is a really great utility. These are not all created equal. So I can't tell you if you went to Joann's, because obviously that's not a thing anymore, but they certainly have a lot of different brands of craft vinyl. There's different adhesive amounts, so permanent, semi, outdoor, all different kinds of craft vinyls that you can buy. But their transfer papers are made to work with their own product. So you wouldn't want to buy someone else's transfer paper and use it on a brother vinyl, because the tack is not necessarily the same. It either won't come off or it won't pick up off of the backing pieces. So it is important that you use the same brand transfer paper as you do vinyl. You don't want to mix and match. You can have some issues with that. What kinds of things can we actually put this stuff on? Pretty much anything that you can put a sticker on. That's literally as simple as that gets. So you can put it on glass. You can put it on mugs. So I've got a couple different things over here. One of the other things, we talked about personalizing. This is just my calendar right now. I'll probably change it next month because I can't ever seem to use the same calendar for any long stretch of time. But if I wanted to add something, maybe I want my monogram on the front, or maybe I can put that little lace design over here. That'd look really cute. So we could add that to literally anything that's going to take a sticker and let that sticker stick to it. Tucker was testing stuff for one of her scan and cut classes. Oh gosh, it's been a very long time. And she's like, I need something to stick this to. And I didn't have anything other than my laptop. So I passed her my laptop, and I still have that sticker on the back of my laptop that she tested to see how that all went. So you could decorate your laptop. You can decorate your phone cases, all of those different things. It's just a matter of what do you want to do. Curved surfaces do take a little extra care. It is not necessarily as easy as a flat surface, but it can certainly be done. We actually did a class using these exact cups. This is left over from that class. And so you have quite the curved surface. You've got different widths here as well, which makes that super complicated as far as putting it on a cup goes. So this is kind of like a wine glass without a stem, where it's got that curved in at the top. So definitely what you choose is going to determine how you're going to apply that. So I want to make sure that I cut all the way through before I remove my vinyl off the mat. And the reason being is, if for some reason it didn't cut all the way through, I can actually hit go again and it will cut exactly where it cut the first time. But if I take the vinyl off and then realize it didn't cut exactly where I wanted, trying to put it back in exactly the same angle, it looks like I have this just slightly turned. It's not completely straight, which is fine as far as cutting, but trying to realign it, there's almost no possible way that you're going to be able to realign any of that. So you always want to check before you remove the mat from the machine, because you're not going to be able to get the mat in exactly the same place, or your product from the mat. So I'm just going to literally stab the corner and turn. I'll do it up here so you can see it on camera a little better. I'm going to stab into the corner and then pull back. And basically, I want to make sure that I'm getting a good cut. And I'm absolutely getting a beautiful cut here. It's coming off super, super simple. And I can just get rid of all of that. All right, so I know that it cut well. I can remove that, and then I can work to get rid of the pieces that are in the center. Now I can use my picking tool to do that, or sometimes I can just bend, excuse me, and then just pick off those pieces sometimes by itself. So that one stuck right back down because it wanted to. So here's my E inside of this little guy here. Got the inside of the A. I've got just a bunch of little pieces here. And I think that is all for the word create there. And then I have the little bits of lace in here. So I can pick out those little pieces inside of there so I can see the lace edging as well. All right. So this is probably the most time-consuming part, is finishing the prep part before you actually go to adhere it to something. So now that I know this is all cut, I can remove my mat if I wanted to. I've got another piece we can cut if you guys would like me to. But I think we've got a couple things that we can show you how to transfer. The other thing that you can do is, like I said, a monogram. There's not as many monogramming options, in my opinion, like the fonts that are in here. I like to do those in the software and then bring that over either through wireless or through a USB. And the reason is that I like a little bit more scrolly monograms, a little more decorative than just straight letters. You can certainly do straight letters. The Canvas workspace, excuse me, program that comes for free from Brother. It literally is a wonderful little program. It's got a free version on the web, and then there's also a download that you can take and put that directly on your desktop, and then you're not waiting for the screen to load every time you make a change, that kind of thing, because you're not on the internet. So there's that cute little lace piece as well. So I could just pick this up. This one might not be quite as bad because it is just a straight line, but I'm going to show you how to use that transfer paper as well. I'm just going to rip these two in half so that I'm not working with both pieces at the same time. All right. And I'm going to eject my mat so that I can work right there on the camera, because I think that's better than the other one over here. So I've got my piece here and I have transfer paper. So again, transfer paper is going to come on a roll. I think we sell it in a 36-inch piece. So you get 12 inches by a yard, I believe is how we have it here. It used to just be in a large roll of multiple yards. Can I make the lace in a circle? That is a great question. I could attempt to do something like that in software, but in here, it won't allow me to do that. But that is a really great question, and I love the idea of that. So the Canvas Workspace program itself has a lot of, it has the same built-in shapes for the most part that are in the machines, but it also has the ability to bring in other things. So if you want to mix and match some other, if you want to mix and match other designs, you could actually bring multiple designs in on the screen and do stuff with that. So you could probably, or you could even draw that. So the wonderful thing about our scanning cuts is if I found an image on the internet of a lace circle that I wanted to cut and put on, doesn't matter what, fill in the blank, whatever I want it to be. It could even be out of fabric because I want to sew it on. I could print out that image, scan it in here, or put it into my software through that feature. It does the same thing on both places. And I can actually create a cut file right at the machine with whatever that image is. So can I make this particular one a circle? No, I cannot. Can I make a lace circle? Absolutely. And it really wouldn't be that hard. I'm not going to get into the whole scanning thing. That's really a whole nother process. So I don't want to get too long-winded today, but I will absolutely talk about scanning, and maybe I will try to make a note of a lace circle. So when I get there, I will be able to do that. My point about the transfer paper originally was that you can cut to the size and shape that you need. So I could whip all of this off, or I could just work with the space that I need. So I don't actually need all 6 inches at the moment. And so what I really want to do is press over the area that I have cut. If I'm really worried about the straight lines for wherever I'm going to put this, there is a grid built in here, so you could line that up so that you can really get that down well. There is a scraper that is an available tool. Mine has disappeared. So I'm just going to rub with my fingers because I don't have another flat surface over here to use. But we're just going to put pressure. And what we're doing is we're trying to get the sticky of the transfer to pick up the colored vinyl. So we need to rub where there's colored vinyl. That's the key here. And then when we peel that back, we want the colored vinyl to come up onto the transfer. And if it doesn't, it's okay. Just put it back down, rub the spot that didn't want to come up. All right. So I now have my transfer exactly as I need it to be. And the reason that we want transfer paper, if I picked this up, I would never be able to get this to lay down flat because I would lose, like this is only connected by this little tiny piece here. And the same thing with these. There's only a small connection point. So getting it, you can't just pick up the two ends and press it down. Like I said, maybe this one because it's literally just a straight line. But with these and all of the nooks and the crannies, it would absolutely get crooked when you go to put it down. You'd have kinks, you'd have folds, that kind of thing. Could I use an old credit card? Absolutely. And I have done that. My purse is not in anywhere near the vicinity, so I didn't have anything to grab, but you absolutely could use a credit card to do that scraping. That would absolutely work. They have like kits for just about any, I mean, like Cricut has a kit. So if you've, I started with Cricut. I have a lot of Cricut tools and a lot of Cricut expense that I did. And some of those things I do use here. But I pretty much have, I really like the Brother tools. I think they're very nice. I love the handle on this. I have other picking tools that I feel like I'm a little child holding a crayon trying to use things. So, I mean, I have a lot of things. I've tried a lot of things. It's just a matter of finding the right one for you. And we always talk about no judgment zone here. So I don't care what tool you use. As long as it works for you, that's what matters. So an old credit card is absolutely great. When I want to go and put this on something, maybe I want to put it on my mug, I can lay that down. Now, when it comes to mugs, I would probably recommend that you get like a bean bag or a pillow or something like that to set it in so it's not rolling around on you. But I'm just going to, look at that, it fits almost perfect right in there. I am going to just set that down on my mug because I don't have anything to hold it. And then I'm going to smooth out. Being that curved surface, I have to give it a little bit of oomph every now and then to smooth out. There's a little bump sometimes when you have curves. So just take your time and smooth that out. All right. God bless you. And so we're going to continue to apply pressure. Now what we're trying to do is get the sticker on the back of the letters to stick to the cup instead of to our transfer paper. So yes, your scraper tool or whatnot can work here as well. It's just a matter of getting that flat surface. When you go to peel, you want to peel nice and slowly. Don't whip this off or it will probably pull a piece. But once you've applied that pressure, it should release from the transfer and go to whatever item that you're putting it to. And it's actually stuck really well. You can fine tune if you have any little corners that maybe didn't get really well adhered down, and just check and make sure that you don't have any spots that are picked up and not smooth. But that is literally all there is to really personalizing something and having some fun with it. So it's very fun. It's very easy. You can make some great things. If you're going to a retreat, you could have like a little logo that you do and everybody gets the same cup or something like that. You could do, if you are doing iron-on, you could do bags and t-shirts and things like that with the vinyl, and all of that can be done on the Scan and Cut. It really is such a wonderful machine by itself. And then when you add in all of the things that it can do for your sewing and your embroidery, it's just such a wonderful tool. It's one of my favorite machines in my craft room. I use it a lot. I absolutely adore my scan and cut. So this is super fun. Let's put that lace on my planner. Where'd my planner go? Here we go. So if I wanted to put that, let's just say along the edge, it's a little bit short, and I'm actually, this edge is just a little bit snipped. So I'm actually going to snip the edge of that so that they look the same on both edges. So that looks like right about there. So that looks pretty balanced on both sides, or at least close enough for me. And, you can kind of decide, do I want to put it at the bottom? Do I want to center it? Will it fit across here? And maybe that would be, the better option is to put it across the bottom or the top. I'm just going to center it the best that I can on the side here. Like I was saying, we certainly can pick this up, but even this has a lot of little pieces here. But we'll see how this goes without the transfer paper. I think you guys can see that, yeah? All right, so I've got a really cute little wave pattern happening here. Going to try to get that edge right along the colored portion, and then I'm going to smooth that out. So in theory, I probably should have measured this if I wanted to do this and actually had it go from corner to corner, but that is absolutely adorable as a little additive on there. You can do this. You can put monograms on these kinds of things. You can sticker leathers. I will say stickers don't tend to stay on leather super, super well. So I'm not sure if that's really the direction that I would go with that. Laser cutting is fun on leather and things like that. So that would be an option for that. But the big picture here is that this is absolutely fun, and it is not a complicated thing. Absolutely anybody can do this. I walked my daughter through how to do this kind of thing over the phone. She's out in Arizona, and she was making gifts for her bridesmaids, and she did hangers and put everybody's name on their hanger because, of course, they had all the same dress, right? So they were able to hang up their dresses as they were getting their makeup and everything done, and they had a hanger that had their name on it, and then, of course, they got to keep that. So I walked her through how to do that over the phone, and then once she got the first one done, she was off and running. But what a nice little gift to have, and every time that hanger's used, those girls get to think about Sam and that special day for her. So it's always nice to have personalized things. Personalizing gifts is absolutely a hot thing. It's a wonderful thing, even if you're running a business, to be able to personalize. It is so easy. We had a customer years ago that did those little elves that you could get at like the dollar store, which nothing's a dollar anymore, but you know what I mean. There's just this little stuffed elf, and she cut out the child's name out of heat transfer and put it on the little elves. I think it was the hat band or something like that, and ironed them on and personalized these little elves. And she was able to sell them for way more than the dollar that she was spending. And a tiny little name takes up, you could buy one roll of this and make hundreds of tiny names. So it really is a lot of really great things. For whatever reason, it didn't let me grab that other camera, so I'm going to see if I can do that real quick now that the other one is gone, but probably not. That would be too easy, right? Come on. Yeah, it's not letting me. All right. Well, does anybody have any other questions on how to do craft vinyl? The key is remembering to use transfer paper so that you get a beautiful alignment, and also so that you have a nice, easy transfer. It was definitely a little harder to get one end lined up while it was, flimsy, where it's not flimsy if you're using the transfer paper. So lots of fun. I hope this has given you a couple ideas for some fun things that you can do coming forward. If you have any questions, you definitely know where to find me. How do I wash? That's a great question. Thanks, Mindy. This is going to be a hand wash. You can absolutely get it wet. The sticker will stay there, but it is not recommended to be put in the dishwasher. So anything that has a sticker on it shouldn't be put in the dishwasher. It is a really great question. Thank you. I meant to say that earlier, so I apologize that it didn't automatically say it, but thank you so much for asking. It would be the same, just it's a permanent sticker. I don't recommend a semi or removable. Those removables are definitely going to come off, especially like when you're washing it or things like that. But a permanent adhesive is what you would want. All of ours are permanent. They are not considered temporary. So anything that you get from us would certainly be an option. I believe we have our vinyls, instead of having to buy 6 feet of one color, we actually opened all of the rolls and cut them down. So you're getting, I think it's 18 inches. So it's 12 by 18, maybe it's 12 by 20. I don't remember. It's something like that. And it does say in the description. And I did link that in the email that I sent out last night. So if you want to check out the different colors and things that we have here, that's certainly a great way. You know that you know what you're getting, because you can see exactly, it's exactly what we've got here that I'm using for this. But yeah, it's a great option for personalizing tumblers. It's so much fun. A lot of these, you know, the heat or cold, what a lot of them say you're supposed to hand wash them anyways. So you're not really changing a whole lot. I don't hand wash these cups. I hand wash them if I've put an adhesive on them. So the other thing that you can do, not per se on this kind of thing, but where'd my glass go? This, if you have an actual glass, craft vinyl is what we use to do glass etching. So basically you cut and then you use the negative space to actually make your shape. So it is, it's really fun. This is dishwasher safe. So which is the only reason I'm bringing it up at the moment, is because this is dishwasher safe. So from a gifting perspective, this is a phenomenal thing that you can do. This letter set, there's an entire alphabet with these little scrolls and things. You can buy the whole alphabet set on our website as well. I did not put that in the link because I didn't think to do it until just now. But I can see if I can find it if you guys want to give me a second. But the glass etching is so fun. I have made multiple gifts of this. It's a great wedding gift. It's a great Christmas gift for that aunt that you just don't know what to get. Buy some, you know, Libby's or something from somewhere. Just get a set of those, and you know, you can do a shape if you want, if they happen to really like something in particular. Or you can do the monogramming, like the things that I was saying we have on our site here. So I'm going to see if I can pop on there real quick and see if I can find that link, and I'll put it there. It is. All right. So this is the link for that monogram set on our website. It's popping up in the comments right now. So if that is something of interest from a Christmas perspective, I would use transfer paper, because this one with all of the scrolls, you do have little inside pieces, and trying to get them lined up is very, very difficult. So I would use the transfer paper and move it to your glass, and then do the etching cream through that. You could absolutely use the positive for something else, Miss Louisa. That is a great plan. You could take that monogram and put it on something like this, on their journals, on literally anything. Dollar Tree or the Dollar Tree, any dollar store, it doesn't matter. Dollar Tree actually has things for $1.25 versus $5 and below, or, you know, where it's $4 or $5 kind of thing. But you can find all kinds of things that you can put craft vinyl on. Anything that can take a sticker, you can decorate. So you can absolutely use the positive portion of that. It does get a little bit harder because you have to peel it out. So what I would do is try to have some like leftover waxy so that when I peel out the actual K with the vine, I can attempt to put it on something and get it straight and then use transfer paper to move it. Because all of those little pieces are going to be hard. So yes, you can, but you'd want to be real careful to take that out and be to put it somewhere that you can use it with transfer paper. It would be my recommendation for that particular thing. But this sticker vinyl is exactly how we made these cups. Well, they're little vase type things, but you literally use the negative part. So the part I threw away, that's the part you would use. You would put that on here and then put your etching cream in the opening, and that's how you get that. And then you just peel the craft vinyl off and voila, it's done. It's extremely easy to do. It's a very inexpensive project. If you buy the big bottle of etching cream, it'll last you for so many different things. It's a ton of fun. Like I said, this machine gives you so many different options of what you can do. The heat transfer vinyl with t-shirts and bags and things like that. We have it in glitter. We have it in flat. We even have it in foil. So you guys, if you know me, you know I love Wonder Woman. This is iron-on foil. So I actually did a couple different things there. So this is on a t-shirt and it's that shiny foil and it's super, super cute. I really like that. We did a foil class a little while ago as well. So the options truly are endless with this machine. It's just a matter of what do you want to do. And you guys know I'm here to help you figure out how to do it if you would like to try something new. So thank you so much for joining me today. I apologize for the really, really rough start. I will have to make sure that this computer just gets restarted on a regular basis because I think that was it. Because as soon as I did that, it magically fixed it. So I will try to get better at that in the future. Again, I apologize for the rough start, but thanks so much for being patient and waiting around until I got it all straightened out. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks again.